Do you need healing? Let these verses bring God's hope in suffering. Hello and welcome to this special moment of reflection and hope. In a world full of challenges, many of us face periods of uncertainty, pain, and difficulty. Whether it's a health crisis, the loss of a loved one, or simply the weight of daily worries, suffering is a universal experience that we all share. But amid these storms of life, there exists an inexhaustible source of strength and hope: the restorative power of faith in God. Today, we will explore how we can find comfort, healing, and renewal through faith, even in the darkest moments of our journey. And be sure to watch until the end, as I'll share a powerful revelation about the secret that the ancient masters of faith discovered to overcome any adversity. Something that completely changed my own life and is rarely taught in modern churches. The transformative power of Scripture. The Bible is not just an ancient book, it's a living source of wisdom and comfort that remains relevant in our modern world. In its pages, we find words that have the power to transform our perspective and renew our hope. Think about Psalm 23, where David writes, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." These simple words remind us that we are never alone in our struggles. Or reflect on Psalm 46:1-2. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. In moments of greatest hopelessness, Psalm 34:18 comforts us. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, and saves such as have a contrite spirit. And when we feel completely exhausted, Psalm 121:1-2 lifts us up. I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Or consider Philippians 4:13, where Paul declares, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This promise assures us that with Christ we have the strength to face any challenge. Maria, a 45-year-old teacher, shared how Psalm 91 became her refuge during her battle with breast cancer. Every time I felt overwhelmed by fear, I would repeat those words about dwelling in the shadow of the Almighty. That gave me peace amid the storms of treatments and uncertainties. Psalm 35 reminds us that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, bringing the promise that difficult times are temporary, but hope is eternal. Finding God's grace in your struggle. Carlos, a 52-year-old family man, received a terminal cancer diagnosis 3 years ago. When doctors gave him only months to live, he turned to his faith with renewed intensity. Each morning, I would wake up thanking God for another day, Carlos shares. Instead of focusing on what I was losing, I began to see each moment as a precious gift. My faith gave me strength not only to face the treatments, but to live fully each day I was given. Anna, in turn, found comfort in prayer after losing her son in a tragic accident. There were days when the pain was so intense I could barely breathe, she recalls. But in the darkest hours, I felt a comforting presence sustaining me, as if God was crying with me. Prayer became my safe space to express my anguish and gradually find a way to move forward. Roberto's church community became his anchor when he lost his job and faced a serious financial crisis. I was ashamed and felt like a failure, Roberto admits. But my brothers and sisters in faith not only supported me materially, but prayed with me and helped me rediscover my worth beyond the circumstances. I learned that God often works through community to show us His love. Healing spiritual trauma. Spiritual trauma is a reality for many who have faced disappointments, abuses, or crises that have shaken their faith. This type of wound can leave us feeling abandoned, betrayed, or disconnected from God. If you've ever felt this way, know that you are not alone. The path to spiritual healing begins with an honest recognition of our wounds and doubts. The healing journey often involves the practice of contemplative prayer, allowing us to express our true emotions to God, even when they are difficult. Meditation on scriptures, not as an obligation, but as a balm for the wounded soul. The support of a welcoming faith community where we can be authentic in our spiritual journey. Lucia, a survivor of abuse, shares, "I blamed God for what had happened to me. It took years for me to understand that He was crying with me, not against me. Through a support group in my church and a sensitive spiritual mentor, I rediscovered a God of love and compassion, not of judgment. Today I can say that I am healed not only emotionally, but spiritually." A word of hope. Friend, regardless of what you are facing today, there is hope. The storms of life are real, but the power of faith to bring healing and restoration is equally real. And now, as promised, I want to share that special revelation that changed my perspective on spiritual healing. The secret that the ancient masters of faith discovered is surprisingly simple. They understood that true healing doesn't just come from asking God to remove our difficulties, but in allowing Him to transform our identity through them. As Psalm 126:5 says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." The pain you feel today might be exactly the soil where God is planting the seeds of a greater purpose. Your tears are not in vain. They are watering a garden of possibilities that you cannot yet see. This is the divine promise that has sustained generations through the darkest centuries. Remember, you are not alone in your struggle. The same God who sustained so many before us is present in your journey too. Your wounds are not invisible too. His eyes and His healing power is available to you today. As we close, I would like to invite you to take a step of faith. Perhaps it's sharing your story with someone you trust, seeking support in a faith community, or simply opening your heart to God in sincere prayer. And if you have already experienced the transforming power of faith in your own life, consider sharing your story of hope with someone who is struggling. Sometimes the most powerful testimony is simply saying, "I survived this, and you will survive too." May the peace and grace of God be with you on your healing journey. Before we say goodbye, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel to receive more content like this that can strengthen your faith and bring hope to your life. Click the subscription button below, activate the bell for notifications, and share this video with someone who might need this message today.